If summer decor doesn't quite feel right anymore, but it feels a little too early for fall, then this is the video for you. Today I'm going to be decorating my house for early fall, so think fall without like all the pumpkins and nothing Halloween yet. We're just going to start introducing some rich, deep colors and warm textures and making this space a little bit cozier in preparation to decorate for fall in the coming weeks. I want to encourage you, before you feel the pressure to go out and buy a bunch of stuff, to just kind of see what you have at home. I am mostly going to be shopping my house and using things that I already have and trying to create a cozy environment. I am going on a little girls' afternoon with some friends to go thrifting, so we will see if we can find any fun things to add to the house. But I don't ever want you guys to feel like you just have to constantly buy more and more stuff to keep up. And that's kind of the point of this channel. You guys know I love being resourceful, reusing, and getting creative so that you can create a beautiful, functional, and fun home on a budget. The thing I do encourage is like having the right tools and gaining the right skills to help you create a home that you love. If you're wanting DIY and decorating inspiration to create a beautiful home, but you don't want to have to spend a lot of money, then this channel is for you. We have so many fun ideas and I'm loving this community that we are building. We do have weekly videos every Friday and I would love to see you around here. Okay, I am going to go ahead and just pull out all of our fall bins. Alright. I know this might, I don't know, I guess it depends on your perspective, but to some of you, this might look like a lot of fall bins. And one thing I just want to remind you of is a lot of this stuff was secondhand, thrifted, or handmade. So like I have an entire bin full of like pumpkins that I made out of those sweaters, if you remember that video. All right, first bin, let's see what we find. It's one thing about the fun of decorating once a year is you forget all the fun things you have. Okay, you guys, here are the sweater pumpkins. Do you remember this video? This was like one of my first fall videos, I think. Yeah, I made this out of a sweater. Isn't that kind of cool? Okay, it's looking like this bin is mainly pumpkins. I do have these cute little soup bowls. I'm gonna pull those out. Okay, I also have this cute fall runner, and this is more of a Thanksgiving one. It does say thankful, but we might be able to do something fun with that. I love the color. I like that kind of earthy tone, so we're gonna pull that out and use it. I think everything else we're gonna wait a few more weeks to pull out. Moving on to our next bin. Okay, I know this is all Halloween, so I'm skipping that one, but there's some fun stuff in there. I'm excited to show you guys in the coming weeks. Here, got a lot of leaves. I forget how much I love pumpkins. Oh, look at this cutting board. I love this cutting board. Okay, this is all pumpkins. Okay, we found a couple of goodies in the fall bin. I pulled out what I felt like was good transitional decor. I'm gonna go through like my fabric bins and my floral bins and just see if there are any other textures and decor pieces that we can pull out and incorporate as we're transitioning the house to fall. I do have this floral bin that has fall florals in it, and I think I'm going to go ahead and start using some of these. Some of these are actually left over from our wedding. We got married in October, so we used like some terracotta colors and stuff like that I feel like can fit fall. And I've loved our wedding florals. I've used them for so many things, which is super nice. I also, a while ago, did invest a little bit of money in buying some florals that I loved. I feel like florals are just a really good way to decorate your home and add some festivity and life to it without having to like store a lot of knickknacks. And I feel like you can use them in multiple situations. Here we've got like some really pretty kind of rich toned flowers, oranges, reds, terracottas. I have some like, it looks like dried eucalyptus, more of a red tone. I have some like wheat looking pieces and more grass type florals. So I think there's some really fun things that we can experiment with here. Okay, here's what I've kind of gathered from shopping our house. So I have like the wreaths that we talked about. I have the florals, these candles. I went and grabbed some pillows and blankets from around the house that I feel like maybe could fit in the fall theme. I have the little soup pots, and then I have these like different signs I'm gonna try out in our entryway, switching them out. Right now I still have a Christ painting of the empty tomb, which I love, and that's why I've left it up, but it has been since Easter, and it's more of an Easter decoration, so I kind of want to just do something a little more fall tone. I also have some like candlesticks, candlestick holders, some different baskets, and then some different fabrics as well that I just thought we could kind of experiment with. And then let me show you what I thrifted. Okay, here are my thrifted treasures from yesterday. So this one wasn't from yesterday. These two I found last week, but the rest were from yesterday. This is a pillowcase cover, and I think this could be super cute to add some more texture and warmth to our couch. I want to paint this, not the wood part, but this part differently. I haven't decided what I want to do with it, but I think it's so cute. I also found this cute little jar, as well as this basket, and then some wooden trays that I thought we could do some little vignettes, some little styling with. I found some more candlesticks, which is always a win, so I got those. So I kind of curated these picture frames, and I want to do some kind of gallery wall. And I actually found this book, A Mother's Touch, and there's some beautiful artwork inside that I actually thought would be so fun to maybe cut out and frame and hang on the wall and just kind of create this cozy little vintage gallery wall. And there's some kind of like fall landscape. Like, look how pretty that is. And I think this will just be so fun and add a lot of warmth to our fall, early fall, non-fall decor. Anyway, I am very excited. This is such a fun idea. Thrifting a book with pretty pictures, thrifting picture frames, and using it to create a gallery wall. I think that my main goals for decorating for early fall are going to be our mantle, our kitchen table, like doing a centerpiece, our entryway, and then putting up that gallery wall that I showed you. And then I might add a few little touches here and there throughout our house, but those are kind of like the main big things that I want to decorate today. So I want to do the fireplace mantle. Now, it's kind of hard this time of year because I feel like you don't want just dried dead things. Like, our garden is thriving. This is like the best the garden is all year, is this time of year. I just want this mantle to feel colorful and warm and just full. It's just like a warm look with some of those fall colors in it. One of my dream projects that I'm sure you'll see at some point in time is I want to redo the tile on this fireplace. I feel like it looks like a bathroom floor. I'm really grateful to have a fireplace. I really am. So we're gonna focus on that. But one day, I think that would be such a fun project. I like these eucalyptus leaves because they're kind of a yellow-green. I feel like I can play with them in the spring and the summer, but in the fall, they're kind of like a bright green, so they're kind of like a good in-between. They kind of match the yellows and oranges of fall. I also have these little sprigs. One thing I like when I am decorating with florals is to add different textures. And so these little sprigs have more of like a feathery look to them. And I think that just kind of adds some fun variation in there. Next, I'm going to add in my fall eucalyptus, so more of this reddish color. And I'm actually just kind of decorating from the outside in because in the middle is where more of the flowers are going to go. These are really fun, adds in some really pretty color, and I like that they're an entirely different texture. So this is more of like a wheat looking plant. Next, I'm going to add in these really fun white sprigs. That just adds a whole different layer of color. In fact, I'm going to put these first. The reason being, this is kind of that mauve, that kind of reddish orange color, and so is this. And so I just want to create kind of a layer of separation to make them both stand out just a little bit more. I had this idea, but I was just thinking, like, what if I did this as a backdrop for the floral kind of piece? But I don't know. Do we love or hate the basket? I don't know. And then I'm just gonna add some more little sprigs just to add some texture to these flowers. Add in some white ones as well. I also think these could be kind of fun just to add some more texture in there. I don't know how I feel about the basket. I think it's a fun idea, but I feel like it looks funny because it's being cut off by the TV. So sadly, we're gonna move that. I think this looks a lot better. Once I decorate for actual fall and Halloween, all I have to do is hang my little pumpkin salt dough garland that I made in a different video here, and then I think add some lights to it. I think it'll be so cute. This pillow actually came with our couch, and I feel like it's going to be the perfect size to squeeze into this pillowcase. So I'm gonna wash this, and then I heard a little hack that you can use a razor to get off some of like the pilly pieces, little fuzzy things. That's just what I have to work with throw blankets. I think it'd be so fun one day to have a chunky knit blanket, but we're gonna make do with what we have. We're not buying a lot of new stuff right now. Okay, so originally I was thinking of doing something else with the gallery wall, but looking at this wall, we've been wanting to do something with it for a long time. It's bigger than I thought. If I would have realized I was doing it on this wall, I would have gotten bigger frames. So I'm gonna see if I can pull some artwork from other places in our house and add it to the gallery wall, and then I'll just use what I have, and maybe over time I can grow the gallery wall and keep adding to it. But I think that will be kind of a fun thing to do with that corner. So let's go work on it. I was able to find some more artwork throughout our house. I experimented with a couple of different things, moved things around, played around with different layouts. One painting that I am particularly excited to add to the gallery wall is that mountain painting from my grandma. If you saw my craft room tour, you might remember it. And I decided to move it upstairs from the craft room. I still have one painting down there. I told you guys I loved having that in there because it inspires me creatively. But I kept one painting from her in the craft room, and this one I'm going to move up to the gallery wall because it will be fun for more people than just me to be able to enjoy it. And I think it is such a beautiful mountain landscape and so special to have that reminder of her on this wall. I selected some pictures from that book, and I'm really excited with how they turned out. I chose fall landscapes, and the book has a lot of different landscapes. So I'm thinking like in the summer, I'll change them out. In the spring, I'll change them out, and I can just kind of tailor these images to fit the season, which is super fun. For this long picture, I actually used some book pages and then put in a picture, and that just kind of helped fill out the space because it was too long to just have the picture take up the whole entire picture frame. I also decided to paint one of the picture frames. It had kind of a 90s floral design on it. It was thrifted. I found it in my basement. I've had it for a while. I ended up painting it with some rub and buff just to make it gold, and I'm really happy I did. I think it makes the picture pop more. And the picture that I'm hanging right now is one I actually thrifted as well a while ago. It's of the Salt Lake Temple, and it's beautiful, and I've been wanting to put it up, but just haven't really found a good place in our house to put it, and so this gallery wall was the perfect place for it, and it has kind of those reds and orange tones, just like all of the fall landscapes, so it all goes together very well. I did have one picture frame with nothing to hang it from, and so I ended up putting 2 holes into the cardboard back and then running some wire through it, and then just kind of tying a knot on the other side so that it couldn't slip out. And the idea here was just to create a picture hanging wire, and it actually held up really well. I put it on the wall without any issues, and it is still standing to this day. So I think this is a good hack if you're not able to hang a picture, especially with thrifted picture frames. Sometimes they just don't have the backing that you need. Also, I added some baskets to the gallery wall, and then I added this basket of dried flowers. This is actually a bouquet from our wedding, so I made this bouquet for our wedding photos before the wedding. I had someone else make our actual wedding bouquet, but it has dried really well, and then I do have some fake flowers in the bouquet. And so I just put that here along with some thrifted candlestick holders and candlesticks, and it is so cozy. It's giving the cottage vibes that I really wanted, but it has those fall tones and fall landscapes, and it's actually getting me so excited about decorating for fall. I cannot wait, you guys. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a fall marathon in which we're going to be decorating, crafting, maybe baking some yummy treats. We'll have to see. And I am just so excited to bring you guys along, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I have been getting so many ideas as I've started introducing fall into our home and just getting super excited for all those cozy vibes. Aren't these pictures just stunning? Like, this makes me want to turn on some Gilmore Girls and start getting cozy and just enjoying the transition of seasons. And I just could not be happier with how this gallery wall ended up. My husband did point out that maybe I should have hung the pictures a little bit higher, but I think what we're going to do is just add up. So keep adding to the gallery wall, but give it some more height and add upwards rather than lengthwise. And I'm just really happy with this. All right, let's get this entryway decorated. I have some Easter decor up as well as 4th of July. I've kind of kept those things up. I kept up the Easter decor because I loved it so much, but it is just time for a fresh start. So I switched out our florals in this vase, added that thrifted basket, and this cute little sign that our realtor actually gave to us when we bought our house. I love this message when you first walk in the door, "You're home now." I just feel like it's so welcoming, and that's how I want people to feel in our home. I want them to feel like they're at home and that they belong here and that they're loved. And so I think this is just a really cozy, great message as you first walk in the door. Next, I got to work on the kitchen table. First, it needed a good wipe down, and then I'm adding this little table runner. You guys might have seen this before. I got this from a garage sale, and I just love the woven look of it. It's so cozy. And then I grabbed this thrifted basket, and I'm just kind of adding some fall florals to that. I started with some sprigs, and then I'm adding flowers to the center, similar to how I layered the fireplace mantle a little bit. And I just kind of arranged that until I was happy with how it looked, and I think it is so cozy and such a beautiful way to add some fall to our table. I added these little candlesticks that I thrifted a while ago in the candlestick holders, and I love the way this turned out. This last little project is not necessarily fall, but it is like a cozy little touch to our kitchen. So I grabbed that board that I thrifted in that jar, and I actually filled the jar with salt. I saw another YouTuber had a little thrifted salt container on her counter so she can use it in baking, and it's just easy to grab and easy to season things. And I was like, that is a really good idea. So I thought I would use this little jar to hold salt, and having that board behind it just made it feel really cozy and warm. I think this is a fun touch for our kitchen, and I'll definitely use it. Okay, one thing I did want to touch on as you're decorating or planning for this season of transition, is the fact that the world is still very much alive. I guess it probably depends on where you live, but around here in Utah where I live, our garden is thriving, there are flowers galore, and there's just so much beauty everywhere. And I think sometimes if we jump ahead too quickly to the next season, we kind of miss the season we're in. So I wanted to gather a garden bouquet. This is something we've been doing all summer long, is just getting bouquets from our garden. We've planted some really good cut flowers and arranging them, and having a fresh bouquet every week from our garden has been my dream, and we accomplished it this year. I did kind of prepare this in the heat, and they wilted a little bit, but once I left them inside for a bit, they did perk back up. I've also just been using flowers to create decorations for Sage's birthday party, which is coming up at the end of the month, and I've been sharing some of those projects on like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, so you can find some of those projects there. But the world is just so beautiful right now, and I don't want to skip over that, and I want to bring some of that beauty into our home as we celebrate kind of this season of harvest and abundance. Now is a good time to let you guys know my plan for YouTube moving forward. I took a break for a little while when our daughter was born. I just felt like I couldn't sustain it. I was working full-time and pregnant, and there was just a lot of life changes going on. I have since learned some ways that I can be a bit more efficient at my YouTube videos. I'm also home full-time with Sage, which of course is a lot of work, but because I'm home, I'm able to better create this content for you guys. So with that being said, I am posting videos every Friday, and I've been really enjoying getting back into YouTube. I love creating on here. I love this community, and I love getting to hear from you guys. And that's what I really want this page to be. Not just me creating videos for you to watch, but us creating a community where we share ideas, we lift each other up, and we support each other. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got some inspiration and enjoyed it. Next week, I'll be taking you on a little home reset as we clean, organize, and prep our houses for the upcoming seasons. And then I'm going to be taking you on a thrifted home tour the next week, sharing more thrifted goodies, decorating on a budget ideas and inspiration. And then it is the fall marathon, where I'm going to be sharing so many crafts, decorating ideas, and just so many fall things. I'm hoping to create the coziest video you have ever seen. I think you're gonna want to stick around, so hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will see you next week.